What's going on, guys? I do feel like your divine masculines want to communicate something to you. I was really drawn to this deck, so I'm just going to start shuffling and see what messages want to come out for the divine feminines from the divine masculines at this time. So it could be tonight something's going on, or it could be like just energies that have been passing this within this last week, or just things that may be coming up and what to be on the lookout for. Okay. They want to communicate forgiveness, or somebody really wants your apology. Maybe you have them blocked. They might have been out of line about something. Maybe they made some kind of assumption. They could have crossed a line. They could have said something about your life, the way that you're living. They would have maybe judged you harshly in some way, spoken to you a certain type of way, compared something to you. All of those things are coming up for me, but somebody is pleading that you either answer their call or text them back. Like, it's not like you. I'm also hearing that. So you've either deleted yourself off of social media, you've deleted them also. So like, for some of you, I feel like this is an argument that maybe it's like the first time you guys are experiencing this type of disconnect. Someone feels hurt, like they didn't expect you to like block them, and maybe you've never done that before, but there's something within you that says, I'm done with this. And maybe by watching this reading, you're just a little bit curious because the title is hitting so much. But I also feel like it's going to be a validation for you, because like, you can pick up on this like energy of remorse, or somebody feeling like they really want your forgiveness. Okay. And, I'm just the messenger, guys. I was guided to do this reading. Like, the divine masculines want to communicate. Pick up that deck and just get the messages out. So let's get a little bit on maybe why the conflict, or why it occurred, what lessons you're meant to learn out of it. Okay, so it could be around communication, okay, travel. You guys could be at a distance from one another. Like, I also hear like somebody saying like what am I supposed to do if I never see you? And maybe you guys are arguing about the fact that like they haven't traveled to come and see you yet, or you guys live overseas from one another and travel has been held up. All of this communicating at a distance has been slow. It's caused a lot of, I feel like, resentment, maybe even jealousy, if either of you are caught up in other situations still that you may have to work through. It could be contract situations, soul contracts that you're dealing with. And it hasn't been easy. Like, I feel like it really hasn't been easy. Maybe that's why your divine masculine wants your apology, because I feel like it's been frustrating being away from you. You could still be married, divine feminine, I'm getting that, and he may not communicate it directly or may play nonchalant about it, but it really bothers him that you may still share a home with your husband or your ex, or maybe you guys are co-parenting, or you have to keep in touch for the kids. Maybe you still have to go on family vacations together, or celebrate the kids' birthdays at times, go to the kids' games. It really bothers him. And again, that's going to be amplified if he's at a distance from you. It doesn't have to be for everybody, but I do feel like there is a sense of distance, and it's even more frustrating if you guys live in the same town and you're experiencing this distance. It's like you guys may, still live in the same city, but it's like you hardly see each other because, like, the circumstances. I feel like that's where he might have crossed a line. Like, he might have said something about the fact that maybe you're still living with your spouse. Maybe he called you dependent. Maybe he triggered something within you. That's why I feel like it's not like you to disconnect like this, but he definitely crossed some boundary or line when it came to communicating something to you. And it's like Mercury's energy has made things a little bit awkward or maybe wonky between you two. Right timing, wrong timing. But I feel like this conversation was necessary because we do have seeds and spring coming up. And it's the energy of getting out of your comfort zone. So I feel like maybe whatever they said, it's going to address maybe something that you're clinging to. And yes, your divine masculine may have pulled the trigger on it, but maybe you've had thoughts about this as well, divine feminine. The situation that you're in, whether or not you have complete freedom or sovereignty, whether or not your heart can truly explore the connection with your divine masculine, whether or not you're really truly choosing yourself. So a lot of you have your plate full, but I do feel like they're really apologetic because they know that maybe they've triggered a lot within you, and I feel like you're now retreating backwards. You could be a fire sign, We have Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. He could be the fire sign as well, so take it how it resonates here. But explosive energy is what I'm feeling. So 2 people are going to need some time to cool off. But you could be the fire sign. That's why I'm feeling like he's coming in with the apology, because it's going to be a long time waiting for him to have that fire sign apologize. But yeah, all jokes aside, I do feel like maybe this argument or this trigger was necessary. Okay. Now I'm also feeling intense love. Okay. So even though you two might have upset one another, you're going to come back from this feeling even more intense love for one another, because I see too, like, it's being revealed that, like, I mean, he really cares for you. It really does bother him to think about you sharing a space with somebody else. And I feel like this is a divine masculine who may be really trying to wrap their head around, like, the fact that you do have to stay, and they know that this change isn't easy for you. You know, many of you who are dealing with situations where you are having a co-parent or you do have children, because I am picking up on that energy very heavily. You know, it's not easy. It really does slow down the journey, right down to communication sort of getting, you know, wonky. Like, they may not say certain things because they know that your hands are tied. Okay, but we do have make the effort in romantic feelings, and that's why I was saying, like, they're gonna come back feeling more in love with you. Somebody thinks that you're noble, or maybe now is the time that they're starting to understand or actually wrap their head around the fact that what you're doing is not easy, and they were caught up on the wrong things. Like, I feel like somebody was being petty or being jealous, and you were really trying to get them to see the bigger picture. And now you have a divine masculine that's really wanting to make the effort towards this, because you've been seeing the bigger picture, divine feminines. And that's why Seeds in Spring is coming up, because I feel like this connection between you two and the dynamics and all of your twin flame journeys, whoever's going to resonate with this message, all of your dynamics, even though they're difficult and sometimes they don't make sense, you'll see, like, years down the road sometimes why it made sense and why it had to happen in the way that it did, and what soul lessons you learn along the way. And you end up in life predicaments where you're doing something vastly different than everybody else around you. And because of meeting your twin flame and certain situations that you may end up in, you end up as like a beacon of light for other people, or a guide in this lifetime for other people. So they're being called to come in with this apology, because, you know, someone sees your heart. Maybe divine feminines, they see your efforts. Okay, you may love your family, or you work very hard to hold things together. You deeply care about other people. I feel like this is a masculine who also wants your apology because they were expecting you to just up and walk away from your life, and many of you couldn't. You just stayed and you endured the changes step by step, by the book. Somebody wanted to rush it all and maybe make you do something out of character, but you didn't, and it's made you more romantically attractive over time, hence the romantic feelings here. So that's why I feel like they're coming in with this apology here, because I'm hearing like, okay, like, you were right. You know, maybe they were expecting you to choose them, and they felt a heavy rejection because you didn't, and there was like a long pause of distance or space or time between you two, and now somebody's coming back to make the effort, because after observing you over, it could be months or years, they're now understanding why it is you had to make certain decisions. Okay, so I think that's really beautiful. Let's see what else is coming up for you guys to experience. What's on its way for you both to experience? What is on its way? What healing is on its way? Okay, let's take what's at the very top. So we have third eye clarity. So I feel like understanding, and that's going to make the forgiveness a lot easier. And I do feel like it's going to be a really smooth conversation between you two as well. That's what the clarity is all about. And also too, there's this vulnerability I'm getting, you know, this deep honesty. And that's why I think you two are about to get turned on, because it's going to kind of feel like you've been through something together. Like you've been through a little bit of hard times, and that didn't break the connection. It's just so beautiful, guys. Like, the energy I'm getting in this is romantic, because it's a divine masculine I'm picking up on who just so in their ego, maybe so hard-headed about just the journey itself, maybe even immature. And you, on the other hand, divine feminine, you've had to endure, but thankfully you've had intuition on your side. You've had that third eye clarity. So it hasn't been, maybe as difficult for you. But, nonetheless, somebody is coming in to let you know they understand now. And they're going to stay the course, and they're going to stay steady. And that, that's not supposed to be there. There's the romantic feelings. Yeah, they're going to stay the course because no matter what, even throughout the distance, they think about you. Okay, this could be an earth sign. You could be the earth sign. So we're dealing with fire sign and earth sign here. It could be a pairing, or these, could be significant somehow, but you're their rock, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. That could be a validation for some of you. If not this particular sign, then you're definitely somebody that grounds them. Okay, and they always come back to you. I'm hearing that Selena Gomez song, I Know I'd Go Back to You. I don't know the lyrics, so I gotta look that up and see what the full lyrics are. The only part I know is I Know I'd Go Back to You. Okay, let's see what card wants to come up around that. Yeah, North Node, purpose. And we've been bringing this up in all of the readings that have been coming up. There is a sense of purpose. When they're away from you, everything just goes bananas, okay? And they always end up back in this energy of just doing whatever it takes to close out either the conflict or the awkward moments. Like, this is somebody who really loves you, Divine Feminine. They really do. I'm hearing I acted like a fool. This is somebody who maybe needed some years to mature. You guys definitely needed this space, because I feel like even through like the distance and the space as well, they maybe watched you be a noble woman, focusing on your life, making sure that your children are okay, making sure that, you're working on like a healthy relationship with, those who matter in your life. You could be a Queen of Cups, very nurturing as well. Putting yourself at the top of your priority list because, you've gone through a lot. Okay, so keep an open mind, yeah. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type or expectations, and that's what he's realizing now. Okay, he understands. Right, the journey's not always going to pan out in the way that we want it to, but the reason that happens is to let us know that obviously like the force of that love is stronger. So that's what your divine masculines are dealing with, like feeling very, very sentimental about you right now. It's so sentimental and I'm looking on that and I'm looking at that window thinking about you. So somebody could be, that song could be significant. They could be smoking endo, looking out the window thinking about you. Maybe, planning when it is they're going to reach out. But they're at this place. I feel like it's been a long journey, but they're finally at this place of understanding and realizing that, it's not always going to be perfect. You're not perfect, they're not perfect, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that these feelings don't die, okay? A lot of you have been through hell and back, and it's like I feel like with the keep an open mind, it's like you guys are different from one another. Maybe there's like an age gap, and, it could be a situation too where your divine masculine may not have children. You may have children. They never thought that they would, want to be with somebody in that particular type of dynamic. And, I feel like the way that you guys' journey have maybe panned out over the years is that you guys always resurface back to one another. It doesn't matter what your life circumstances look like, right? Maybe they're also coming into a realization of like, society, like what society thinks, what friends think, what family think versus what it is they want. That could also be part of the reason why you guys might have gone through some type of conflict, kept away from one another, and the time and space did its thing, divine timing did its thing. But right now is the time of, romantic feelings resurfacing for you, and with that, they want your forgiveness. Somebody's getting ready to have a really vulnerable conversation with you, and then after that vulnerability and forgiveness and all that stuff is felt, then I think, what's going to come after that is this feeling of like sensuality, romance, deeply feeling romantic about one another, because it's going to feel like you've overcome some type of hurdle. Like somebody may even admit to you, like, across the distance, the silence. Like, I'm glad we're in touch again because, like, I really, really missed you and I really love you. So, yeah. That is what I have for this one, guys. Really romantic, really beautiful. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. All right, I will check in with you guys in the next reading. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.